Many of us spend so much of our energy worrying about others, but we have to be conscious about taking time to put our own needs and gains first. It may shock you to hear this, but nobody is born perfect. Nobody is born with any natural talents or abilities. They are all learned over the course of time. In fact, perfection is really more of a myth than an ideal. It's something no one else ever really achieves, no matter how hard they work. But you can still ensure that you are drawing closer and closer to your ideal lifestyle by prioritizing personal growth. One of the things that I've learned in life, of the 3 most important keys to success, is that daily and continuous learning is absolutely indispensable if you want to become rich, successful, and in complete control of your life. That's why a well-planned goal will always be growth or change focused, becoming better and better, instead of simply to achieve perfection, which is not possible. I'm sure if you ask Yo-Yo Ma or Beethoven when they finally achieved perfection, they'd simply laugh and tell you that there was no such thing. As Thomas Edison, the greatest inventor in history, said that success is 99% perspiration and only 1% inspiration. But the inspiration comes as a result of the work that you do on yourself. You see, personal growth is a lifelong process of sharpening your mind and body in order to progress to your chosen destination. And the effort you put into developing this ideal of excellence in what you do is based on one key factor: setting mindful and practical goals that you can apply in your day-to-day life as you continue your success in life.
Now, to achieve success in every area of your life, you have to develop the habits of highly successful and hardworking people. To begin with, the foundations of good work habits can be summarized in 2 words: focus and concentration. Now, focus requires clarity concerning the desired results and the relative priority of each step that you need to take to achieve those results. When you think of focus, think of a photographer adjusting his lens to keep the key subject sharp in the center of the picture. To become a truly hardworking individual at work, you must be continually adjusting your lens to be sure that what you're working on is the most important thing you could be doing at the moment to achieve your most important goal. Now, concentration requires the ability to stay with a task until it's 100% complete. Successful people understand that they must work in a straight line to get from where they are to where they want to go without diversion or distraction. If you want to accomplish your goals, you must be sure that everything you do is taking you in that direction, and then develop good habits to get you there. This decision alone will dramatically increase the quality and quantity of what you get done every day, and soon enough, you will become one of the most successful people in your field. Schedule your time. Scheduling your time reduces stress and releases energy. The very act of using your organizational skills to plan your day, your week, and your month gives you a greater feeling of control and will help increase productivity throughout your day. You'll feel in charge of your life. Planning your day in advance actually increases your self-esteem and improves your sense of personal power. It gives you a feeling of being in control of your life and your world. Start early. To increase your productivity, start your day early. The more time you take to sit, think, and plan, the better organized you'll be in every area of your life. In the biographies and autobiographies of successful men and women, almost all of them seem to have one thing in common. They develop great organizational skills and the habit of going to bed at a reasonable hour and rising early to start the day. Many successful people arise at 5 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. so that they can have enough time to think and plan for the coming day. As a result, they're always more effective than those who sleep in until the last possible moment. A few minutes of quiet reflection before you begin any undertaking can save you many hours in executing the task. When you get up early and plan your day in advance, you tend to be more calm, more clear-headed, and more creative throughout the day. In our society, the highest paid people are those who know more about what they're doing than the average person. They know more of the critical facts and ideas and information and the skills than the average person in their field. As a result, they can make a more valuable contribution in a knowledge-based society, and they can live the best life possible. They are valued more, they're respected more, and ultimately they are paid more money and promoted more often because they have more education. The rule is that to earn more, you must learn more. If you want to increase your level of income and achieve the best life for yourself, you must increase your level of intellectual capital, and thereby the value of the knowledge component in what you are doing, and you must do it starting today. My friend Jim Rohn said that formal education will make you a living, but personal education will make you rich, and that is true for you. Your level of ability in your field will determine the quality and quantity of your results. The better you get at what you do, the easier is it for you to start moving forward and to get a particular level of results. As you increase your skill level in your field through study and experience, you get better and better at doing the small things that increase the speed and predictability of your results. Remember, skills are things that can be developed over and over, and all business skills are learnable. You can learn any skill you need to learn to achieve any business goal that you can set for yourself. By developing an ever-widening circle of contacts, you will find that every major change in your life is accompanied by a person or persons who either opens or closes doors for you. The possibility of your achieving the best life for you will be determined by the number of people who know you and like you and who are willing to help you. Now, in order to broaden your network of contacts, you must network continually at every opportunity. There seems to be a direct relationship between the number of people you know and how successful you are. Now, to network successfully, the simple strategy is this. When you meet a new person, ask them what they do. Ask for their business card, and then see if you can't find something that you can do for them. And the one thing that people like the most is if you can send them a customer. Many people who network are thinking, what can I get from this other person? Your strategy when you meet a new person who can be helpful to you is to think, what can I give to this person? What can I do for this person, and how quickly can I do it? That way you sow seeds of people who will be prepared to help you in the future. One of the most important of the success factors is money. Having money in the bank gives you greater freedom and the ability to take advantage of opportunities when they come along. If you're broke or in debt and an opportunity comes along, you have no options open to you. There's nothing that you can do. So having money makes you free. One of the most important things I ever learned in life is that you're only as free as your options. If you have no options, if you have to do whatever it is you're doing, you have no choice, you have no freedom. If you're stuck in a dead-end job that you can't leave because you have no money set aside, you have put a brake on your potential. You are locked in place and you have no option for moving forward. You can end up spinning your wheels and losing months and years of your time by the very fact that you have no choice but to accept whatever is being handed to you. But if you have money, we call this opportunity money. If you have money put aside, you can walk away from a bad job and you can take time to find exactly the right job for you. This idea of saving up money so that you are available to take opportunities has transformed many people's lives.
The primary reason for financial problems in life is lack of self-discipline, self-mastery, and self-control. Most people have an inability to delay gratification and have a tendency to spend everything they earn plus a little more, which is usually supplemented by loans and credit card debt. One goal that we all have in common is that we all want to make more money.
We all want to have enough money so that we never have to worry about money again. But there's a question we often forget to ask ourselves. Will more money truly make you a happier person? There are more people achieving financial freedom faster today than ever before, but yet you'll find many of them are not entirely happy. But with these steps, you can accumulate wealth, become happier, and achieve financial freedom, no matter how much money you have in the years ahead. First, you have to begin thinking positively about money. Thinking negatively about money is an emotional obstacle that you must eliminate in order to achieve financial freedom. You must eliminate thoughts like, money is the root of all evil, or money can't buy you happiness. When you think positively about money, you will attract opportunities and open up more doors than you ever thought possible. Next, rewrite and review your goals for financial freedom on paper every day, and think about how you could accomplish them. This will only take you 5 or 10 minutes, best first thing in the morning. Financial freedom must be the centerpiece of all your work and external activities. Achieving financial freedom is not something that happens in a random or haphazard way. It must be something that you specifically think about and define and plan for continuously. Plan every day in advance. The best time to do this is the night before. Planning each day, each week, and month in advance will make you far sharper and more precise at everything you do. You'll have better focus and a greater sense of self-control when you work from a plan. You'll be better able to track your spending habits as well by planning how much you have to spend for the week, the month, and the year, and decide where you will be able to save. The average person has grown up in a family where he's never met or known anyone who is wealthy. He goes to school, socializes with people who are not wealthy. Birds of a feather flock together. He works with people who are not wealthy. He has a reference group or a social circle outside of work who are not wealthy. And he has no role models who are wealthy. Now, if this has happened to you throughout your formative years, up to the age of 20 or so, you can actually grow up and become a fully mature adult in our society, and it may never occur to you that it's just as possible for you to become wealthy as for anyone else. So the first reason why people don't become wealthy is because it never occurs to them that it is possible for them. And of course, if it never occurs to them, then they never take any of the steps necessary to make it a reality. The primary cause for underachievement and failure is that the great majority of people don't decide to be successful. Even if a person reads a book or attends a lecture or associates with people who are financially successful, nothing changes until he makes a decision to do something different. Even if it occurs to a person that he could become wealthy if he just did certain things in a certain way, if he doesn't decide to take the first step, he ends up staying as he is. If you continue to do what you've always done, you'll continue to get what you've always got. People always have a good reason not to begin doing what they know they need to do to achieve financial independence. It's always the wrong month, the wrong season, or the wrong year. There always seems to be a reason to procrastinate. As a result, they keep putting it off month by month, year by year, until it's too late. Even if it's occurred to a person that they can become wealthy and they have made a decision to change, procrastination will push all their plans into the indefinite future and nothing will ever happen.
Procrastination continues to be one of the largest enemies of our productivity, and if we don't find effective ways to break this habit, it has the potential to completely derail our path towards success. In life, every single person wants to earn more money. They want to be more successful. They want to have a nicer home, nicer car, more money in the bank, and no financial worries. And the key to achieving these goals is to learn how to get more and better results. I know that you might be thinking, Brian, I've tried everything. I've set goals. I've created a time management schedule, but nothing seems to work for me.
This brings me to our first strategy for overcoming chronic procrastination, and it's simply this: change your thinking. I've said this before over and over to millions of people around the world, because the truth is, if you change your thinking, you'll change your life. Here's a trick for pulling yourself away from the temptation to procrastinate. Just say the words, "Do it now, do it now, do it now." These magic words will motivate you and push you to get started. When you repeat these words often enough, the message will get pushed deep into your subconscious and act as a trigger for getting things done right away. If you spend all of your time thinking about how your habit of chronic procrastination gets in the way of all of your goals, motivation, and dreams, then your subconscious mind will accept that as the truth, and that's how your life will continue to be. If instead you spend your time thinking about how wonderful you are at getting difficult and important tasks done right away, and how incredibly organized you are with your time, then your subconscious mind will start to accept that as the truth, and you will start doing more of those things that overcome procrastination and get more things done faster. When you feed your mind with positive ideas and information and books and conversations with positive people and audio programs, preferably Brian Tracy audio programs, and positive thoughts, you develop a more positive and constructive personality. You become more influential and persuasive. You enjoy greater self-confidence and self-esteem. Those people who work with computers use the expression GIGO, or garbage in, garbage out. But the reverse is also true. Good in, good out. When you make a clear, unequivocal decision that you are going to take complete control over your mind, eliminate the negative emotions and thoughts that may have held you back in the past, and become a completely positive person, you can actually bring about your own personal transformation. Your job is to be the best you can be. Now, mental fitness is like physical fitness. You develop high levels of self-esteem and a positive mental attitude with training and practice. Speak to yourself positively. Control your inner dialogue. Use affirmations, positive statements phrased in the positive present and personal tense. My favorites are, I like myself. I like myself. I can do it. I can do it. I feel terrific. I am responsible. This is how top people think most of the time. Now, psychologists say that fully 95% of your emotions are determined by the way you talk to yourself as you go through your day. This is called your inner dialogue. It's the stream of words and thoughts and feelings that course through your day like a river going through your mind. The sad fact is that if you do not deliberately and consciously talk to yourself in a positive and constructive way, you will, by default, think about things that will make you unhappy or cause you worry and anxiety. Remember, your mind is like a vacuum. It will not remain empty. If you don't fill it with positive thoughts, it will fill with negative thoughts, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Your mind is like a garden. If you do not deliberately plant flowers and tend them carefully, weeds will grow without any encouragement at all. If you don't think positive thoughts and can take good care of them, negative thoughts will grow in your mental garden without any effort on your part.
One of the most valuable time management skills you can develop is the habit of organizing your tasks by priority. I refer to this process as eat that frog. Many of you are familiar with this phrase, but for those of you who are not, the eat that frog concept means practicing the habit of tackling your biggest, most important task first. This task, or frog, is the one that you are most likely to procrastinate on. It's also the task that can have the greatest positive impact on your life and results at the moment. It comes from a story by Mark Twain, by the way, where he said if the first thing you do each morning is to eat a live frog, you'll have the satisfaction of knowing that's probably the worst thing that's going to happen to you all day long. And your frog is your biggest, ugliest task. So we say, do the worst first. Now, the best way to organize your life is to use what we call the ABCDE method.
The ABCDE method is a powerful priority setting technique that you can use every single day. Here's how it works. You start off by making a list of everything you have to do for the coming day. Preferably make your list the night before, or at least the morning before you start work. Never start work without a list. Think on paper. You then go down your list and you place an A, B, C, D, or E before each item on your list before you begin the first task. An A item is defined as something that is very important. This is something that you must do. It has serious consequences if you do it or you don't do it. This is a task that if you don't do it or fail to do it, like visiting a key customer or finishing a report for your boss that she needs for an upcoming board meeting, then it's going to be serious. People are going to be all over you. These are the frogs of your life. These are the things you've got to eat first. A B item is defined as a task that you should do. Now, a C task is defined as something that would be nice to do, but for which there are no consequences at all, whether you do it or not. A D task is defined as something that you can delegate to someone else. The rule is that you should delegate everything that anyone else can do so that you can free up more time for the A tasks that only you can do. An E task is defined as something that you can eliminate altogether, and it won't make any real difference. This may be a task that was important at one time, but which is no longer important to yourself or anyone else.
Now, everyone has a daily morning ritual that they practice, whether they know it or not. Some of these habits are more beneficial than others and can prepare your mind and body for everything you have planned for that day. One beneficial habit that you can practice every morning is to get up and read 30 to 60 minutes in something uplifting and inspirational each day. When you get up in the morning and instead of reading the newspaper or watching television, you read something positive and constructive and inspiring, you set your mental stage or tone for the rest of the day. Throughout the day, from the first day that you try this, you will notice that things go better for you. You will be calmer, you're more productive, you're more creative, you're more alert. You'll actually be more resilient and will respond more effectively when you face the inevitable ups and downs of your daily life. Just like vigorous physical exercise in the morning will prepare you to be more resilient physically during the day, positive mental exercise in the form of inspirational reading will prepare you to be more mentally fit during the day.
The whole secret of personal success is to find out what your calling is and then do it with your whole heart. Why is it that some people have positive thinking patterns while others do not? What determines your self-concept for success? Many successful people have been interviewed over the years and asked the question, what do you think about most of the time? Their answers are simple and consistent, and yet so profound that they can be life-changing, as they were for me. In short, rich people always think positively. They think about what they want and how to get it. By learning the habits of rich people, you too can become very successful, and perhaps faster than you could imagine. The richest people have what is called a very high self-concept. Your self-concept is the master program of your subconscious computer. It acts as your mental operating system. Every thought, feeling, emotion, experience, and decision you have ever had is permanently recorded on this mental hard drive. Once recorded, these impressions influence the way you think and feel and behave from that point onward, starting in early childhood, even when you are an infant. Your self-concept precedes and predicts your levels of effectiveness in every area of your life. Your self-concept comes first. Your self-concept explains why the mental laws have such an inordinate effect on your personality. If you want to be rich, you must change your self-concept so that you think about yourself as a rich person. Once your self-concept in a particular area is formed, you always act in a manner consistent with it. You may have extraordinary ability in a particular area, but if your self-concept is poor in that area, you will always perform below your true potential. One of the most helpful concepts of time and life management is called the 80-20 rule. Now, the 80-20 rule is also called the Pareto principle, named after its founder, the Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto, in 1895. He noticed that people in society seemed to divide naturally into what he called the vital few, or the top 20%, in terms of money, property, and influence, and the trivial many, or the bottom 80%. Later he discovered that virtually all economic activity was subject to this same principle, in that 80% of the wealth of Italy during that time was controlled by 20% of the population. We can take Pareto's 80-20 rule and apply it to almost any situation. In particular, we can apply it to goal setting and productivity. According to this principle, 20% of your activities will account for 80% of your results. That means if you have a list of 10 items to accomplish, 2 of those items will turn out to be worth more than the other 8 items put together. The sad fact is that most people procrastinate on the top 10 or 20% of items that are the most valuable and important, the vital few that account for all your success, and instead they busy themselves with the least important 80%, the trivial many that contribute very little or nothing to their success. So here's what you should do in order to effectively apply the 80-20 rule to goal setting and to your overall productivity. First, take a piece of paper and write down 10 goals. Then ask yourself, if you could only accomplish one of the goals on that list today, within 24 hours, which one goal would have the greatest positive impact on your life? I ask this question of my clients all over the world. What is your most important goal in life right now, which you need to know, by the way, if you want to be successful? Then pick the second most important goal. What you'll find is that after you complete this exercise, you will have determined the most important 20% of your goals that will help you more than anything else you do. Second, you should work at those goals that you have chosen all the time. The most successful and wealthiest people all practice these habits on a daily routine, and adding these to your daily routine will contribute greatly to your success. Planning your day actually starts the day before. Set out what you want to accomplish before you even start your day. The last thing you do before coming home from work or retiring for the night is to plan your entire next day. When you plan your day the night before, your subconscious mind then goes to work on your plans and your goals while you are asleep. When it comes to making your daily to-do list, make sure that you're working from the 80-20 rule. If you have 10 items to do on your list, 2 of them will be more important than the other 8 put together. After you've made your effective to-do list, make sure that you create time blocks dedicated to each task. Keep in mind that new tasks and responsibilities will come up continually. Phone calls will come in. Emails will need to be dealt with. And meetings will need to happen. The key to working smarter is also setting aside chunks of time for those unexpected tasks that will come up. Scheduling your time this way reduces stress and makes you feel in charge of your life. Another task you should block time for is breaks. Every single study in productivity shows that you will be far more productive in the 5 or 6 days that you work if you take 1 or 2 days off completely than you ever would be if you worked straight through for 7 days. The same applies on a smaller scale in the hours of your day. Taking a small break will clear your head and should give you some fresh thoughts to sharpen your focus. All successful people work from lists, and all successful people with regard to their projects work from checklists. A checklist is a list of everything organized in sequence, and you go down the checklist. All of success in life comes from project completion. It comes from taking jobs, and a project is called a multi-task job. It means there's several little jobs within the larger job. And what you do is you organize your projects by sequence, the checklist, and then you start on your most important project, and then you stay with that project until it's complete. This process is called single handling. It's the most powerful success strategy that you can use in managing your time. You can actually increase your productivity by 50% by simply starting and completing your most important task first thing every day. So if you can do those three things, start with a list, organize the list by priority, and then start on and complete your most important task, you can double and triple your productivity, sometimes almost overnight. Change your language for a positive outlook. For example, in flying, the word attitude refers to the angle or flight of your approach relative to the horizon. If you lower or raise the nose of the plane, you change the attitude of the plane. The way you think about a problem determines your attitude or approach as well. Here are three words that you can use to change your attitude and your approach to any difficulty you face. First of all, change the word problem to the word situation. Whereas problem is a negative word that triggers feelings of fear and anxiety, situation is a neutral word. So instead of saying we have a problem, you can say we have a situation. My personal preference is to change the word problem to the word challenge. Whenever something goes wrong, immediately say, well, we have an interesting challenge facing us today. You see, challenge is a positive word. When you think of a challenge, you think of something that you rise to, something that brings out the best in you and others. Challenges are what make life exciting and worth living. By rising to the challenges of day-to-day life, you fulfill more and more of your potential. Perhaps the best word of all is opportunity. Instead of saying we have a problem, you can say we have an unexpected opportunity. Napoleon Hill was famous for saying, every problem or difficulty you face contains the seed of an equal or greater advantage or benefit. Your job is to find the benefit. Look for the good in every situation, and this way of approaching a problem is determined by your attitude. This is the most powerful question I've ever learned for guiding and controlling a conversation. It's almost impossible not to answer this question. When you ask, how do you mean, the other person cannot stop himself or herself from answering more extensively. You can then follow up with other open-ended questions and keep the conversation rolling along. Paraphrase the speaker's words in your own words. So after you've nodded and smiled, you can then say, well, let me see if I got this right, or let me see if I understand you exactly. What you're saying is this, and then you repeat it back in your own words. By paraphrasing the speaker's words, you demonstrate in no uncertain terms that you are genuinely paying attention and making every effort to understand his or her thoughts or feelings. And the wonderful thing is, when you practice effective listening, other people will begin to find you fascinating. They will want to be around you. They will feel relaxed and happy in your presence because when you listen to other people, you make them feel important. The reason why listening is such a powerful tool in developing the art and skill of conversation is because listening builds trust. The more you listen to another person, the more he or she trusts you and believes in you.
Your self-improvement journey and pursuing new skills doesn't necessarily involve spending a dozen hours each day on mastering a task. As a benchmark, try making it your personal goal to invest 10% of your time and money back into yourself and your personal growth. Let me tell you a story. I was giving a seminar to more than 500 business owners in Dallas a couple of years ago, and one of the people in the audience, one of the most successful people in the country, stood up, and everybody knew him and I knew him, and he said, what he's about to tell you is wrong. He's going to tell you that for every dollar you invest in yourself, you'll increase your income by $10. He said, I tried that when I was 18 years old and I went to his seminar, but it didn't work. I didn't increase my income 10 times. I increased my income 50 times and 100 times for every dollar I invested in myself. He said, today, he said, I'm 36 years old and I have more money that I could spend for the rest of my life because of that one principle he's talking about. So it will always be the best investment of your time to invest in becoming better and better at what you do. For example, you could enroll in an online class taught by a master in your area of interest. You could attend a course, a virtual conference, or read books that set your focus on self-improvement strategies. Every one of these can double and triple and quadruple your income. Sometimes a single book, a single course, a single audio program can make you rich. Knowledge and high-quality training is remarkably accessible in this day and age, and there are countless ways that you can grow.
When you complete an important task, you experience a surge of energy and well-being. But when you work on an unimportant task, even if you complete it in a timely fashion, you get no feeling of satisfaction or personal reward at all. There's no payoff for completing low-level tasks. Disciplining yourself to concentrate on a job until it is finished gives you a feeling of confidence and competence and mastery. It develops you into a hard-working person, and it gives you an experience of self-control so that you feel that you're in charge of your own destiny.
Take control of your life. Do you feel like you worry too much about every little thing that happens in your life? Are you so concerned that your worries will happen that you don't live your life to the fullest? The happiest people take a long-term view of life rather than allowing themselves to be caught up in the turmoil and details of each day. They take things one day at a time. They teach themselves how to stop worrying by practicing a greater degree of detachment and thereby keep themselves calm and relaxed in the face of life's little ups and downs. Now you learn how to stop worrying and start living better by making a decision today to let go of problems and irritations that occurred in the past that you can do nothing about. Decide to forgive and forget anybody who has hurt you in any way. Keep your attention focused on the future and where you're going, rather than on the past and who is to blame. Life is too short for you to worry about things that happened in the past that you can't do anything about. Now you develop a better perspective in life by realizing and accepting that you are a thoroughly good person. You are honest, you're helpful, you're loyal, you're kind, you're compassionate, and you're friendly. So one of the best ways to stop worrying and start living is to take things one day at a time. Forget what's happened in the past that you cannot change, and don't worry about what might happen in the future. 99% of the things that you worry about will never occur. You can always use the worry buster formula to clear your mind. If there's a problem in your life that is causing you to worry, remember that most things you worry about never happen anyway. There are no unreasonable goals, only unreasonable deadlines. Everything that you could possibly think of that you will have to do to achieve your goal. After having a written goal, one of the things that holds people back is not taking the time to lay out a list of all the little things they will have to do to get there. Identify the obstacles that you will have to overcome. Identify the knowledge, information, and skills you will need, and then identify the people whose help and cooperation you will require to achieve your goal. The more comprehensive your list, the more motivated you will become. The more intense will be your desire, and the more you will believe it is possible. Combine all these things into a plan organized by priority and sequence. Priority is what is more important and less important. Sequence is what you have to do before you do something else, and in what order. List every single step that you can think of that you will have to follow. As you think of new items, add them to your list.
Maybe you have a dream of starting your own business. Maybe you have a book that you've been wanting to write for years, but you can never find the time. Whatever your goals are, you must carve out time from your busy week to work on them on a regular basis. This could be 30 minutes a week or 2 hours per day, but it's equally important that you commit time towards taking care of yourself. Many of us spend so much of our energy worrying about others or our situations, but we have to be conscious about taking time to put our own needs and gains first. Another way to invest in yourself is to explore new creative outlets. If you want to make a big change in your life, then you will need to be prepared to step out of your comfort zone. There's a wealth of creativity and drive within you and within everybody, and personal growth comes from pushing yourself and pushing your boundaries. They say creativity takes courage. It means that you force yourself out of your comfort zone, and the more you foster your creativity, the faster you'll reach your goals. There are lots of ways that you can begin to harness your creativity and creative mind, such as writing short stories, fiction or nonfiction, learning a musical instrument, picking up a new language, or studying and experiencing other cultures and places. An important area that is often overlooked is the time that you invest to take care of your health. You are only as strong as your mind and body allows you to be. We are increasingly learning that a healthy, happy life is founded on taking your physical and mental health seriously.
Now, perhaps the most important of the success factors to accelerating your life and career is your character. Self-discipline combined with honesty will open countless doors for you. Now, trust is the foundation of all relationships. When people know you and believe in you and are convinced that they can trust you to keep your word and do what you say you will do, they'll feel that they are far more likely to get the things they want through you, to get the things they want faster, sooner, and easier, and with greater certainty. And when you apply all of these concepts together to becoming a better and more efficient and more effective person, your life will start to move ahead so rapidly that you will be astonished, and so will everybody around you. Time perspective is defined as the amount of time that you take into consideration when planning your day-to-day activities and when making important decisions in your life. The young couple that begins putting $50 a month aside in a scholarship fund so that their newborn child can go to the college or university of his choice is a couple with long time perspective. They're willing to sacrifice in the short term to assure better results and outcomes in the long term. People with long time perspective almost invariably move up economically in the course of their lifetimes. How can I take my ideas, my services, and make them profitable? Because we want to have a good life. We want to eat nice foods and wear nice clothes, drive a nice car. We want to help other people, but we don't want to starve at the same time. We say we want to do well by doing good. We want to do well for ourselves by doing good for others. Then you tell your own story. I didn't know, this is what I would say. When I started my first business, I didn't know any of the things I'm going to teach you today. And you know what? I almost went bankrupt. I lost my house, I lost my car, I lost all my money because I had no idea how hard it was to start a business. I thought it's a very easy thing. So everything that I'm going to teach you is things that I have learned. And sometimes I will spend more time talking about, I tried different forms of sales, advertising, products, people, money, loans, every mistake that you could possibly make. And everybody in the room is going,
he knows me.
Yeah, they've all done the same thing. And then you shift, and in the short talk, this all can be done in 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. In the short talk, you say, there's 3 key points I want to share with you now. And these, if you will follow these 3 key steps, you will be able to start moving your business into the top 20%. And then you go kaboom, 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 and develop the 3 points, and then you close. And you say,
These 3 points will only work if you work. They will get you results if you apply them over and over again. So promise me that when you leave here today, you'll take the first action and try it, whichever one of these points you think can help you the most. If you do the right things in the right way, you will get whatever results you desire.